Shh, what is that? I don't know what I'm supposed to be finding. What are we? What is that light? What is that? Can you see it? What is it? This is the story that I told Camden when I was in college. I saw the Marfa Lights in person. We didn't have anything to do after the wedding, and we weren't going home until the following day. And so a lot of people who were from Marfa actually told us that we needed to go out and see the Marfa Lights. And we were out there when it was extremely late, and it was like 1 o'clock in the morning, 2 o'clock in the morning, something like that. About 3:30 in the morning. We thought we saw a car. That was the first thing that I thought anyway, because I wasn't the first one to see it. One of the other friends saw it, but I thought that it was a car. And then I realized that there were no roads out there, because this is through a really hilly part of West Texas, and there were no roads, and I couldn't figure out where car light would be coming from. But the light actually just stayed in one position. It didn't get any closer, it didn't get any further away. We watched it, and they started talking about what they thought the Marfa Lights actually were. And of course, we're out there in the dark, and it's the middle of the night, and everybody was all scared and spooked out, and they kept telling us that it was Indian spirits, and that 100 years ago, back in the 1880s, that there had been a cowboy that had first noticed it and had thought that it was sacred ground, and that it was buried, that there were people that were buried, and that these were their spirits, the lights were their spirits. And of course, the only light that we had out there, because we turned all the car lights off and everything, and the only lights that we actually had were the stars, which it's hard for us to imagine, well, it's hard for me to even explain how bright the stars were that night. We decided we'd try to walk toward the lights. And the further we walked toward the lights, the further away the lights looked, or I should say the closer we came to the lights, or we thought we were, the further away the lights looked. They never changed. It was just one really strong light. And then after about 20 minutes of just this light, it began to pulse like this. It began to kind of pulse. It began to kind of pulse. It kind of pulsed like this a little bit. And then another light came, and the two lights kind of did this action together. They were both kind of yellow, but they did this over and over and over again, and then they would stop, and then they would do it again. And so I realized at that point in time that there was no way that it could be a car, because car headlights, are stationary, and then a car comes and it goes. But I'll have to admit, it was very scary. It was really unnerving, because nobody really knows what it is. And even since that night, like I said, in 1992, I've wondered about them and I've thought about them.
That we can outdo are the glowing jackrabbits, because
Glowing jackrabbits?
yeah.
No, I don't think it's glowing jackrabbit. I'll tell you that if it is indeed a jackrabbit, that's the stillest jackrabbit I've ever seen. Or it's a jackrabbit that knows how to do some kind of a fancy jackrabbit dance with another one, kind of I don't know. I can't imagine it being jackrabbit.
Well,
I don't know. I don't think
there's
so.
Apache ghost.
Yeah, that's what they told us that it was out there, and they were very scary about it.
The
that it was
Apache
ghosts.
ghost, based on the legend of Atlas, I think.
Okay, all right, because
The
that
area's
night.
last known Apache chief was tricked into a treaty with Mexico and cut off of its tribe. The lights are thought to be tribe spirits, significantly.
Tribe spirits.
Lit campfires.
Oh, I see. So like ghost campfires or something.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily believe that it's that. I think there's lots of weather phenomenon that people don't understand yet. So, I mean, it's my guess that it would be a weather, but then again, I'm not any kind of meteorologist, and I don't know. I like that it's a mystery. I like that we don't know what it is for real.
The Marfa Lights are one of the greatest magmas in Texas. I think the gas balls are formed in the mountain which they are seen.
And that's the neat part, is that they did just disappear like as the sun was coming up. So if indeed they're gas bubbles, then maybe instead of popping, maybe,
Well, the
and see, maybe
glow-in-the-dark
is
stuff, maybe they don't glow in the dark there.
well, I don't think it's so much that they glow in the dark. I think it's a reflection. I really do, because there's so many stars. It was crazy. The stars were so bright. You know that
Some
song,
Indians
Big and
actually
Bright?
used to think that the lights were fallen stars that just moved.
Oh, that's an interesting theory.
And then,
Of course, they didn't have electricity back then. So what they saw was, if they saw a light, like what we're looking at here, if they had no light and then they saw a light, like way off in the distance, they would probably think fire. But then if you can't catch it, which like I said, we walked like half a mile out there, we couldn't catch the lights.
well,
That would probably I would imagine that would freak any cowboy out.
a good known fact is the Marfa Lights have been known to be around since the early 1800s.
Yes, I bet. Well, that's what well, the night that they told us, that's exactly what they told us, is they said that it was Indians. It was very interesting. I don't think we can know what it is. It's like crop circles or, one of those other things. I don't think that we're meant to know. I think that's what makes the world kind of neat, that we don't know.